Okay. Now, in the same continuation, we shall move ahead and we will discuss about the chemical property of the organometallic compounds of main group series. Okay. So the first chemical property is the reaction with oxygen. If you will see in the given reaction, wait a minute, yeah, right. If you will see in the given reaction, the alkyl of some of these elements can be oxidized to alkaloid stage. Okay, the tetraalkyls of group 14s are relatively stable towards the oxygen, and the trialkyl, these trialkyl of group 15 means the trialkyl of phosphorus, arsenic, and antimony, and dialkyl, this one, of group 16s are oxidized to limited supply of oxygen to retain their metal carbon bond. Hmm. If you will compare among the various element, group 15 and group 16 are easily get oxidized. For example, if you will see in this reaction, these are the trialkyl of group 15 and these are the dialkyl of group 16. They get oxidized in the limited amount of oxygen. However, during the oxidation or during the reaction, they retain their metal carbon bond. Okay, so instead of metal in this reactions, you can put arsenic or antimony, right? And then the oxidation will be takes place. Okay, the second reaction is called as reactions with halogen, right? If you will see here, this alkyl lithium on treatment with halogen, it results LiX plus Rx. So basically in this reaction, the metal carbon bond is going to break. Okay, so the difference between oxygen and halogen reaction is, in case of oxygen reactions with the trialkyl of group 15 and dialkyl of group 16, I told you that the metal carbon bond is going to retain. However, if you will perform the reactions with halogen, it generally cleaves the metal carbon bond, and ease of the completion of cleavage reactions mainly depends upon the electropositive character of the metal element. I have pasted the four reactions of different group. If you will see lithium, aluminum, boron, and gallium, and in most of the reactions, if you will notice, there will be a cleavage of metal carbon bond, even though the breaking of metal carbon bond is basically dependent upon the electropositive character of the metal. For example, if you will notice in case of gallium, right, the bond of metal carbon is still exist, right? However, if you will compare with lithium, the metal carbon bond get cleaved up. So the bond breaking of metal carbon bond is basically depend upon the electropositive character of metal center. But in general, if someone will ask what are the differences used to come after performing the reactions with oxygen and halogen in organometallic compound, remember in case of oxygenations, mostly the metal carbon bond is going to be retained. But in case of halogen, it is going to be break. Okay. Now, alkylation and arylation reactions. See, some alkyl are aryl reagents like LIR, dimethyl zinc, triethyl aluminum. These are the organometallic compound. Why? Because there is a direct bond between metal and carbon bond. What I'm telling, for example, a bond compound like alkyl lithium, LIR, then ZnR2, dialkyl zinc, or AlR3, trialkyl aluminum, right? AlR, right? These are the organometallic compound. All these three are organometallic compound. You know why? Okay. Now, once they will react with halide of other metals of main group, they form a new organometallic derivatives. And the synthesis of organometallic derivative of this type of reactions are called as alkylation reactions. Okay. Again, I will repeat. Some of the alkyl aryl reagent, for example, LIR, ZnR2, and AlR3, which on reaction with halide of other metals of main group forms a variety of new organometallic derivatives. And the synthesis of organometallic derivative of this type of reaction are called as alkylation and arylation reactions. Of the case, this is the LIR. Now it react with the halides of other metal of main group, for example MgX2. What they are going to result? They are going to result MgRX, right? Now it is new type of organometallic compound. If you will compare among the reactant, it is different from the reactant. So it is a derivative of LIR, I must say, or the new type of organometallic compound get resulted, right? Similarly, if you will see with zinc, right? Now you see here. So this halogen X2 get attached with M and it results the ZnR2. Similarly, aluminum trichloride on reaction with monoalkyl lithium, it results trialkyl aluminum. So this way this reaction used to perform, right? The next is the reactions with protic reagents. So in this case, what used to happen, the alkyls and aryls of main group element readily react with a protic reagent like water and they undergo hydrolysis. I have shown one reactions. This is the organometallic compound which on treatment with water results the hydrolyzed product, that is MORH. Okay, so and this type of reactions are quite common in the main group organometallic compounds. Okay, so again alkyl or aryl of main group element readily react with protic reagent like water and they do undergo to hydrolysis. So basically hydroxides are going to result after the process of hydrolysis. Okay, now these reactions are very important and in this case remember the rate of hydrolysis reaction is going to depend upon three prominent characteristics. Why it is used to happen? Remember, most of the reactions, some of the reactions are violent in nature. This protic reagents, the reactions with the protic reagent will becomes violent in nature, and these hydrolysis reactions usually involve the nucleophilic attack by water. Okay, and the presence of the vacant orbital on the metal atom facilitates the hydrolysis reactions as they can readily attract the electron pair from the nucleophile. So how this reaction used to take place, that I want to convey, that the hydrolysis reactions involves a nucleophilic attack by water and the presence of the vacant orbital available on the metal center, right? They facilitate the hydrolysis reactions as they can attract the electron pair of the nucleophile. And the rate of hydrolysis is basically depend upon three different characteristics. One is the electropositive nature of the metal. Second, polarity of metal carbon bond. And third, the associative tendency of metal alkyl. Okay. Now see the example. For example, tetrabutyl lithium, right? Now, once it will hydrolyze, what it is going to be result? Lithium hydroxide and butane is going to form. Similarly, if you see this is RMgX, so it's a Grignard. On hydrolysis, it results the hydrolyzed product MgOHBr along with methane, right? It is violent in nature. This reaction is violent in nature. Okay, so remember the hydrolysis rate of hydrolysis is basically depend upon three parameters. One is the electropositive nature of the metal, then the polarity of metal carbon bond, and associative tendency of metal alkenes. ठीक. Next, the redistribution reactions. See, when two derivative, what is the redistributive reactions? When the two derivative of the same element interact, exchange of the group takes place, and such reactions are called as redistribution reactions. These are the examples you see here. HgR2 plus HgX2. So what is the final product? It is called HgRX. So what has happened, if you will notice, there is a redistribution of R and X takes place, right? R and X are going to be redistributed, and the final product is HgRX, and these are called as a redistribution reaction. Similarly, if you will conduct the reactions with dimethyl zinc with zinc halides, then what would be happen? Again, there will be a redistribution. How come? This alkyl group and halogens are going to be redistributed among themselves, and they results a product like zinc RX, right? So you see earlier the zinc is having, in one of the reactant, zinc is having two alkyl group. One is R like this, and the second reactant is having two halogens available on the same zinc. So what is happening basically after the reaction, the redistribution of alkyl group and halogen takes place, and they are going to result a product like 2 zinc R, and the second one is X. Okay, so that's why these reactions used to define as the two derivative of the same element. Remember, in this case the reactant should have the same nature of element, right? Interact, the exchange of group takes place, and such reactions are called as a redistribution reaction. Like in the third case, if you will see, we are using the gallium. The gallium is common in both the reactant. The only group which are associated with the gallium are getting changed. In one of the cases, it is alkyl, and in the second cases, it is halogen. So what basically in the final way it is going to happen, this alkyl is going to be redistributed along with chloro, and it yields a product like dialkyl gallium chloride. Okay, so these reactions are called as redistribution reactions. So total 4 reactions we have discussed. One is a reactions with oxygen, then reaction with halogen, then reactions with alkylations or arylation reactions, reaction with protic reagent, and the fourth one is, fifth one is that is called redistribution reactions. Okay, now see, next is a complex formation reactions, right? See, some of the organometallic compounds are coordinatively unsaturated. What does it mean? It simply means that suppose a metal used to define the octahedral geometry, but you have tried to manage to keep them in a coordination number 4. It is like some metal prefers the coordination number 6, but you are trying to hold those metal in a coordination number 4. That is called coordinatively unsaturations, right? So anyway, some organometallic compounds are coordinatively unsaturated. Hence, they exhibit the tendency of expanding their coordination number via the several reactions, for example, self-associations, forming the adduct, or by coordinating with suitable ligands. So some of the organometallic compounds form the complexes with amines, ethers, and anions. In short, the ligands which are having the availability of lone pair non-bonding electrons, they easily get connected or coordinated with the organometallic compounds, and that is called complex formations. Okay, so in this case, what used to be happen, the coordinatively unsaturated metal center will have a tendency of expanding their coordination number by the process of self-association are adduct formations are the coordinations with the suitable ligands, and hence some of the organometallic compounds form the complexes with amines, ethers, and anions. See, amines, the nitrogen is having a lone pair of electrons available. Similarly, for the ether, oxygen is also having a lone pair of electron availability. So these lone pair can easily interact with the organometallic compound and they can form the adduct. Okay, now see, if I would ask which one is acting as Lewis acid, which one is going to be act as Lewis base. Remember, whichever is going to take the electron, that is going to be Lewis acid. So for example, in this definition, I must say the organometallic compound which is going to take up the lone pair of electrons from amines or ethers, they will be act as electron deficient or they will be act as Lewis acid. However, these amines, ethers, they do act as electron rich, or I must say the Lewis base. So what is basically happening, the Lewis acid and Lewis base is going to react and they are going to synthesize the adduct. Is that okay? So remember, the electron deficient species will be organometallic compounds here, right? Then it will be act as Lewis base, Lewis acid. And similarly, the ligand are, you can say, the coordinating species which is providing the electron with the to coordinate organometallic compound, they do act as electron rich and Lewis base. Okay, now if you will see some of the example here, dialkyl beryllium is reacting with amine. Now see, amine is having one set of lone pair, ye dekhiye, right? Now this lone pair, available lone pair, what it will try to do, it will try to provide the electron to beryllium, and then they are going to result the adduct like this, right? Yahan par hoga R2 Br2. Okay, is that clear? So here, whoever is going to give the electron, that will be electron rich. So what we used to call them, we will call them as Lewis base. This is called as Lewis base. Similarly, this beryllium is going to accommodate the electrons which are going to be transferred from the amine ligand, and this will be called as Lewis acid. This will be called as Lewis acid or electron diffusion. तो इसे हम क्या बोलेंगे? Lewis acid. Now, the Lewis acid strength of the main group trialkyl vary in the order. Like the thallium will have more Lewis acidic strength as compared to indium, then gallium, then aluminum, then boron. So on moving from top to bottom, basically the Lewis acid strength is going to enhance. Okay, and here you are using the electron rich species is amine. Now if you will change the center atom nitrogen to phosphorus, then arsenic, then antimony, remember the basic strength is going to be decreased. Okay, so if anyone will ask what is the order of basic strength in the Lewis base series of amine, like amine, then PME3, then ASME3, then SBME3, what will be the order? Always remember, once you are moving from top to bottom, the basic strength is going to be decreased. However, the moment you will start moving from top to bottom, then in that case, the acid strength is going to be increased. Okay, so thallium, trialkyl thallium will have more Lewis acidic character. So it will always happily ready to accommodate more electrons which are going to be provided by the Lewis base. So which one will be more faster? Of course, trialkyl thallium along with amine will be more faster, right? However, the reactions with the trialkyl boron with the trialkyl boron with the trialkyl antimony, it will be slowest reactions. Okay, You know, because these are the two extreme end of Lewis acid and Lewis base series. That's right. Okay, I think that's all.